After watching the Act Man's multi-part series Why Halo 5's campaign was so bad, it got me thinking, again, about one of the most crucial elements of the modern Halo story, Master Chief being hunted by Agent Locke, and how this element, while a big focus of the story, also felt incredibly shallow and almost non-existent at the same time. So today we're going to talk about how Halo 5 could have done a lot better with this idea in mind, and how it could carry over into Halo 6. Let's get into it.
Is this what you wanted? Is this what you were looking for? Was everything you've compromised, everything you've done, was it?
So in Halo 5 Guardians marketing campaign, we hear this over and over, this similar idea of a rogue Master Chief and a Oni Locke finding and hunting him down throughout the Halo universe. Yet, the amount of times that they actually interact and this idea is expressed in the Halo 5 story is almost nothing, anything that is actually meaningful anyway. And when they finally do interact, it's nothing more than a shallow and almost pointless scene or scenes. Locke should have had a great motivation, something internal, something much more meaningful instead of just taking orders and being a soldier, such as him wanting to save the colonies he thought that Chief was helping destroy with Cortana, and that wasn't illustrated enough in Halo 5 Guardians, and this should have also been a major focal point of the story, instead of Locke just being distracted by other objectives that distracted away from the overall story and something really cool for us fans to experience, which is what the story was propped up to be originally, which was a Spartan hunting and fighting another Spartan. So let's talk about the infamous scene in Halo 5 Guardians. Yes, this one. Oh my goodness, so this scene was irritating to say the least to most Halo fans for many reasons, but mainly being, to many fans, Master Chief kinda loses the fight and it doesn't make sense. And also, overall, it's kind of a very weak, pointless scene. However, it does or had much potential here. Instead, I think there should have been at least a few of these fight scenes instead of just one, with the story centered around this very conflict of Locke trying to save people he thinks Chief is helping kill with Cortana. It's true that Locke is a lot younger and has more updated Spartan armor and better gadgets, and with Oni and UNSC backing him up, and of course Master Chief is older, perhaps not as fast and agile as Locke, but certainly a very strong and very experienced Spartan too, and by the way, he's the Master Chief. And so all of these elements should have shown in Halo 5 Guardians fight, in the fights that I'm proposing here, and each of these fights should have had these important key facts that would play roles in each of these different fight scenes, and would kind of show and would shine a light on the pros and cons of being a Spartan Locke and being a Master Chief. It would have been really interesting to see Locke take more advantage of something that might kind of be considered cheating, such as the locking gadget that would lock Spartan armor, or perhaps Master Chief fighting both Buck and Locke, or a little bit of Fireteam Osiris at the same time. That would have made for a more interesting and fair fight, and would have at least brought other characters into the action, whereas Fireteam Osiris and Blue Team kind of just walk away or just watch the fight, which doesn't make very much sense. As far as their relationship goes, by the end of Halo 5 Guardians, there isn't really anything there of value, yet it seems like the entire story relies on this for any depth. We should have at least seen Locke getting angry at Chief, something personal, demanding him to stop, and maybe even getting personal by calling Cortana something that triggers Chief into rage or anger or sadness, and he reacts in a certain way, which would of course initiate one of these fights. In some ways, I think Locke represents everything that Chief has hated about being a Spartan, and it would have been really cool to see a physical manifestation of Chief fighting something that he hates so much, and it would have definitely made the fight more meaningful, with Chief being angry at Locke, where he's just projecting his emotions about being a Spartan and his life onto Locke, which would of course made everything so much more meaningful here. John is potentially experiencing PTSD, existential crisis about being a machine, which we saw at the end of Halo 4, and facing Cortana's death. It would have been a very interesting mix, especially if we saw a lot of this projected onto Locke. In Halo 6, Master Chief and Locke's relationship needs to be 1. Existent, and 2. meaningful to the overall story arc. Now, fans in general would need to quickly and simply understand and accept both sides of Master Chief and Locke's point of views to fully enjoy this story. We would need to understand, and I know it's there, but we would really need to grasp the idea of Locke's misinterpretation and how we would see the good in his action and why he's trying to stop Master Chief, why he's trying to save people, and of course, we would need to see that Locke, in a way, is a good guy here. He's just seen from the wrong lens. He doesn't understand, or maybe it's complete miscommunication. We would also need to do the same thing on Master Chief's perspective on trying to save Cortana and hoping that there is a chance to get them back. Something a little bit relatable, more emotional, more human, and that would be really cool to ground us in that field. So each of these fights, assuming that there's a couple, would have to put us as a viewer in a position where we're not necessarily rooting for one or the other, but watching two good guys fight each other with wrong information, misinterpretation, or something else. Similar to Captain America Civil War, where many of the good guys that viewers enjoy on both sides are unfortunately fighting each other due to conflicting agendas and point of views, and it makes for a very entertaining story instead of just being on one side hoping for the best. So the entire story was leading up with Locke finally stopping Chief, only to have them come to an understanding that yes, Cortana is dangerous. Now this cutscene, like many in Halo 5 Guardians, completely missed its potential. This cutscene could have been so much more humbling to see these two characters who both, not just Locke, have done damage to each other's armor due to fighting each other, and perhaps because they fought each other based on wrong information, both of their agendas have been screwed up, and perhaps that is exactly what Cortana needed to buy her time or something else. By this time though, we should have seen the two characters come together in grim realization that they were both wrong, connect in this, and build a relationship with this, but at the very same time, raise the stakes by showing Cortana is a manipulative sociopath that takes Chief and now tries to kill Locke. To better establish their newfound relationship of understanding, Chief would try to save Locke, but only Locke, the underdog, that could have never beat the Chief, must now save him, and everyone else, not by making Chief look weak, but vulnerable to Cortana, his emotions, and finally him cracking to his true humanity. Now, while most of this is correcting the Halo 5 story in my point of view, a lot of this is still possible in Halo 6. Perhaps not situational, but emotional, tone, and perspective. Chief and Locke still have no meaningful relationship, and it's still very likely that Locke will be a major character in Halo 6 based on how much 343 has taken of an interest in him. Technically, the same thing is possible where Locke tries to stop Chief, but I doubt 343 will try to make Halo 5 Guardians story again in Halo 6. Assuming Blue Team and Fire Team with Cyrus isn't in Halo 6, since 343 said they're focusing much more on Master Chief will be in need of a companion in Halo 6, and Locke, even at the end of Halo 5, seems to be the one now standing by Chief's side and taking that role. So the big questions here is, how much is Locke willing to disobey orders? What kind of rules will we have to witness Chief break? And how much is Chief willing to save Cortana, or even destroy her? And will Locke perhaps try to save Cortana? A complete twist. Assuming Locke and Chief are out to stop Cortana in Halo 6, this will undoubtedly bring up tension between these two characters, most obviously because Chief is emotionally invested in Cortana, whereas Locke is not. So what do you guys think? Do you think Chief and Locke would be good or bad companions in Halo 6? And what kind of friendship do you want the two to have? Or do you even want to see Locke again ever in Halo? And how do you think Halo 5 could have improved? Let me know all of your thoughts about all of this down in the comment section below, and be sure to check out Act-Man's series that inspired this video. Very interesting series he has going on. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.